Xiaomi has yet again managed to send ripples throughout the Indian smartphone industry with the launch of the Redmi Note 7 and the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The more feature-packed offering of the duo, the Redmi Note 7 Pro, packs some impressive hardware. At its price point, there is hardly any other smartphone that can match the on-paper hardware prowess of the Redmi Note 7 Pro. But does that translate to an equally impressive smartphone experience? Let's find out in our in-depth Redmi Note 7 Pro review. The Redmi series of budget smartphones have traditionally stuck with a generic design language that hardly stands out from the crowd. But the Redmi Note 7 Pro marks a stark departure from the boring design philosophy by opting for a more premium Gorilla Glass 5 sandwich design with a plastic rim that runs around the edges. The glossy rear panel blends seamlessly with the curved edge profile and provides a nice in-hand feel, but the device attracts smudges and dust particles easily. In addition to the exterior strength, Xiaomi claims that the internals are also protected to some extent from liquid damage, thanks to the watertight seals and a P2I hydrophobic nano coating that is claimed to protect the smartphone against accidental liquid spills. It is worth mentioning here that the Redmi Note 7 Pro can only handle liquid splashes, and it is not water resistant. Neither does it come with an IP certification, so it would be wise to not dunk the smartphone in water. Up front is the 6.3-inch Full HD Plus LTPS in-cell display that has a 19.5:9 aspect ratio and a pixel density of 409 ppi. There is a small water drop notch at the top, or dot notch in Xiaomi's words. The color reproduction of the display is good, and so are the viewing angles. However, we notice that the display is quite reflective and the sunlight legibility is also a bit on the lower side. Overall, the Redmi Note 7 Pro is the best looking smartphone in the segment, and it also has the durability grunt to go with the elegant design. The smartphone is powered by the octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 SoC. It comes in two memory configurations, 4GB RAM with 64GB storage and 6GB RAM with 128GB storage, which is the one we have for review. The internal storage of the smartphone can further be expanded up to 256GB via a micro SD card, but doing so would mean sacrificing the dual SIM functionality. We did not face any performance jitters and lags during regular tasks like web browsing, running multiple social media and productivity apps, streaming videos, etc. It also proved to be a capable performer when it comes to gaming. Games like PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9 launched with high graphics and performance settings by default, but we did notice some frame drops and occasional stutters while playing. Toning the graphics settings down a notch to the medium preset provided an enjoyable experience though. And even though the Redmi Note 7 Pro handles day-to-day usage with ease, it is plagued by a heating issue. An hour-long gaming session of PUBG Mobile or Modern Combat 5 made the device significantly hot, especially in the area around the fingerprint sensor. The rise in temperature was quite drastic, and we had to keep the device idle for some time after such gaming sessions to let it cool off. The rear-mounted fingerprint sensor impressed us with its speed and accuracy. The face unlock feature is also quick, however, it struggles a bit in dimly lit surroundings. The Redmi Note 7 Pro boots MIUI 10 based on Android 9 Pie with the February security patch on top. It comes with a ton of bloatware, like Xiaomi's in-house apps and also a hefty number of third-party apps. Not only do these pre-installed apps hog internal storage, they also dish out pesky ads. We even saw ads while trying to install new apps on the smartphone. We had to individually deactivate the personalized ads option in certain apps to stop seeing them. Ads aside, MIUI does offer some neat features too. We particularly like the second space feature, which basically lets users create a different user profile and use duplicate apps with a different user identity on each one. The Redmi Note 7 Pro comes with a main 48-megapixel primary camera that utilizes the Sony IMX586 sensor with f1.79 aperture that's accompanied by a 5-megapixel depth sensor. It definitely raises the bar for smartphone photography in its price bracket. The Redmi Note 7 Pro captures beautiful images with an ample amount of detail, high dynamic range, and vibrancy. The device shines especially when it comes to close-up shots. Color gradients are reproduced nicely and have a punchy profile, while surface details like grooves and ridges are also captured in stunning detail. One can capture 48-megapixel shots by manually enabling the 48MP mode. The 48-megapixel shots capture more detail than the 12-megapixel pixel bint shots, but they appear slightly dimmer and also exhibit some softening. The Pixel binned 12 megapixel shots, aside from being much smaller in size, are more vibrant because the larger super pixel brings in more light, which is why the images look more lively with higher sharpness and more depth. Also, the 48 megapixel shots captured in low light conditions have more noise compared to the photos clicked at the default resolution. The Redmi Note 7 Pro takes beautiful portrait shots. Edge detection is spot on, particularly in case of bokeh shots captured under daylight. There are also a host of effects such as stage, movie, and cinema for adding some artistic effects. However, we notice that it sometimes struggles to lock focus on the foreground object and occasionally blurs out some portions incorrectly. Night photography is another area where the Redmi Note 7 Pro rises above the competition. The night mode does a good job at brightening up the night shots, also while retaining a decent amount of detail. However, we observe that in order to enhance the exposure, the night mode sacrifices color accuracy and also adds some grainy texture. Selfies captured by the 13 megapixel front camera turn out to be social media ready with ample sharpness and good color reproduction. There are a host of beautification filters such as skin tone lightening and eye enlarger to play with. Coming to videography, the Redmi Note 7 Pro can shoot full SD and HD videos at up to 60 fps. The EIS does a good job at cancelling hand movements to provide stable footage. However, there is no EIS support in case of 4K videos, which are capped at 30 fps. The front camera can also record full HD videos at 30 fps, but it does not support any stabilization technology. The Redmi Note 7 Pro tops an impressive performance and good camera output with stellar battery life. After a full day of above average usage, the device still had 15 to 20% of battery juice left at the end of the day. The battery lost around 10 to 12% of charge after around 30 minutes of playing PUBG Mobile. In our HD video loop test, the smartphone lasted for an impressive 19 hours and 23 minutes before the battery completely drained. The Redmi Note 7 Pro comes with support for Qualcomm's Quick Charge 4.0 fast charging technology, but unfortunately, the 15-watt fast charger does not come bundled in the retail box and must be purchased separately. Instead, Xiaomi bundles a 10-watt charger that tops up the battery from 0 to 50% in 54 minutes and takes it all the way to 100% charge in 2 hours and 14 minutes. The Redmi Note 7 Pro has a lot going on in its favor. A beautiful design, smooth performance, impressive photography output, and long battery life are all the makings of a solid smartphone. Add to it the highly competitive price point, and Xiaomi has another champion in its hands. But that does not mean the Redmi Note 7 Pro is without flaws. The smartphone heats up really fast during gaming, the MIUI feels sluggish and has pesky ads and bloatware, and then there are a few camera quirks as well. With that said, there are a few key areas where it rises above the competition. It has an appealing build, offers more capable cameras, a faster processor, and a great battery performance with support for fast charging. These happen to be the key parameters that sway the opinion of smartphone buyers, and their coexistence in a single, affordable package makes the Redmi Note 7 Pro a great smartphone and the overall best value for money offering among its competitors. So, that was our review of the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Tell us what you think about Xiaomi's latest offering in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and for all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.